Hey,
welcome
everybody.
to Life from 6,000 Feet. I'm Amy,
I'm Greg.
and we are here to bring you tidbits, stories,
Sometimes words of wisdom,
words of wisdom.
maybe humor sometimes.
Yeah, Greg's got a good story for you next week. It's
Yeah.
about a goat, but you have to come back next week. So today we want to talk about Life from 6,000 Feet, the center line. So go for it.
Yeah, so my analogy of that and the reason we called it center line, as some of you, most of you know, Amy and I like to fly, and as pilots, definitely on takeoff and landing, you want to stay on the center line, and for a lot of obvious reasons. One, you don't want the plane moving all over the place, but two, if you have a narrow runway, you want to be able to stay in the center, and you want to stay on the center line, and you do everything in your control to do that. If you get a wind coming across, you have to make corrections for that, and you're traveling in our plane about 80 to 90 miles an hour before liftoff, so you want to keep it on the midline, because if you start swerving, you can actually end up in the ditch,
And
or
make
end
your
up
wife
off
and make your co-pilot nervous.
make your co-pilot nervous,
Yeah.
or
I grabbed the
sick.
door.
Yeah. So anyway, the center line is important, and it's kind of also a metaphor for other things.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So life in general.
Yep.
Most of us are goal setters, and we're trying to get from A to B, and sometimes our goals, sometimes our mission in life doesn't always make sense to the people around us, even the people that really love us.
Yeah.
Your good friends, your family, and they may just be looking at your goals and thinking, that's so strange, or it's foreign to them, and that's totally okay. When you stay on the center line, it's like you have your blinders on. You're so focused on where you're going that the noise around you doesn't stop you
Yeah.
from pursuing your goal, from becoming your best self, from trying new things, from being okay from failing.
Yeah.
So that's where life from 6,000 feet and just in your general life,
Yeah. And
the center line's important.
kind of another analogy of that too. You're taking off, especially. You're on the center line, and your goal is to take off. So once you take off, then your goal, there's another center line, because your destination also generally is a straight line to one place or another. So there's another center line and another goal. And it's the same thing with what Amy's talking about is in life, you hit one goal, there's another one.
You
So
immediately
you
set
definitely
the
want to
next
stay
one.
on the center line as well on the next goal or whatever that is that they're looking for. And all those distractions, like she said, you got to put blinders on. You have to be aware of what's going on off the center line. Obviously, if there's a deer running across the runway, I want to know about that.
Yes.
But your focus is on that center line with blinders on to an extent, but knowing what's coming from the sides, whether it's a deer, something else, a wind, whatever it
Yeah.
is, you have to know what's coming from the sides as well, but focused on that center line. And again, the goal taken off, or whatever the goal is in life that you've set.
Yeah.
And then when you get in the air, you have another center line to follow, another goal to hit, another place to get to, another destination.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, because you're
Yep.
always going to the very next thing.
Yep.
And when your blinders loosen up and you start looking around and seeing what other people are doing, you start comparing and you start dragging yourself through the mud a bit. Put those blinders on and get right
Yep.
back on task. So when distractions show up, you're still focused. You have to
Yep.
handle the distraction. You have
Yep.
to handle the things that run across your
Yeah.
runway.
Be prepared for the deer on the runway, but just don't hit.
Yeah, stay focused.
Stay focused. And again, just a pretty cool analogy we were talking about earlier today is just stay on the center line.
See,
So,
words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom today. So
But-
thanks for joining us
No,
this evening.
they have to come back next
Oh,
week
next
for the
week's-
goat.
Oh,
The
possible.
goat. No, he's gonna do it. He told
Possible
me
goat story next week.
he'd do it, and he does a really great voice. And
Don't ruin it.
if you know Greg, he doesn't do voices.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, all.
Bye.